Voice to the World. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Gaza ceasefire to take effect at 6:30 GMT today. 33 Israeli hostages to be swapped for 737 Palestinian prisoners in the first phase. Netanyahu warns Israel has US support to return to war if necessary. Time runs out on TikTok in the US as Biden leads decision to revoke a ban on it to Trump. Ban takes effect today before Trump takes office. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts with people in his first Mann Ki Baat of 2025 to be telecast on the entire Prasar Bharati network. And in sports, Indian men's and women's team enter the finals of Kho Kho World Cup to face Nepal for the title. A ceasefire in Gaza is set to begin on Sunday, with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledging to secure the release of all hostages held by Hamas. The truce aims to halt over 15 months of conflict, but in a televised address on Saturday, Netanyahu emphasized Israel's readiness to resume military action with the US backing if required.
The cabinet and the government approved the plan for the return of our hostages. This is an objective of the war of which we will not let go until it is complete. Both President Trump and President Biden gave full backing to Israel's right to return to fighting if Israel reaches the conclusion that negotiations of the second stage is fruitless. I appreciate it very much. If we need to resume fighting, we will do that in new ways. And we will do it with great force.
Meanwhile, hundreds of Israelis gathered in Tel Aviv on Saturday night on the eve of the ceasefire with Hamas and expected release of hostages on Sunday. Families of hostages, joined by civilians from all walks of life, including scientists, teachers, demanded the return of every hostage and an end to the conflict.
I'm in a huge roller coaster of emotion. I'm scared, I'm happy, I'm optimistic, I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm like everything. And the biggest thing that I'm doing is praying.
I'm thinking about in what state they will be when, of course, I was in captivity for 129 days. Today it's already 400 and too many days. They will return in a really difficult state. I hope we can give them all the love and all this embrace.
London police has arrested at least 7 people at a demonstration in Whitehall on the eve of the expected ceasefire in Gaza and the release of some of the Israeli hostages held by Hamas. Police tried to contain the protesters to Trafalgar Square, known worldwide for its statue of Horatio Nelson, and said they'd arrested several people for breaching the conditions of the protest. The protest occurred amid growing tension surrounding the ongoing ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, with protesters gathering to express their views on the situation. Meanwhile, Israel is keeping up its strikes on Gaza. Even after ceasefire deal was announced, it has been receiving threats as well. More in this report.
People on a beach promenade in Tel Aviv take shelter as sirens blared across central Israel and Jerusalem on Saturday morning. Palestinians in Khan Yunis mourn a family killed by an Israeli strike on Gaza on Saturday. Both these incidents just a day before a ceasefire deal takes effect. The Israeli government officially approved the ceasefire agreement on Saturday, following a lengthy meeting of all cabinet members. 24 ministers voted in favor and 8 opposed the deal. Prime Minister Netanyahu's office confirmed that Israeli detainees can be released as planned on Sunday. That means that the ceasefire agreement will officially take effect on Sunday. The 3-stage ceasefire begins with a 6-week phase. Hamas releases 33 Israeli hostages in exchange for 737 Palestinian prisoners. Israeli forces withdraw from Gaza, allowing aid and displaced Palestinians to return home. Negotiations for the second phase start on day 16, aiming for a permanent ceasefire and complete Israeli withdrawal by releasing more prisoners. The final phase focuses on Gaza's reconstruction and the returning of hostages' bodies, expected to take years with international support.
So I'm glad that this is the beginning of the end, and hopefully maximum amount of hostages will be coming back, because that's like the most important thing right now. And maybe this is the beginning of end of suffering for both sides, hopefully. That's what I hope.
We're waiting for the hostages to come. It's unbelievable that they had to be there for so long. Hopefully most of them will come alive, but this is the most important thing too. That should happen. They should be here as soon as possible.
The Al-Quds Brigade of Islamic Jihad, a group that holds Israeli hostages, has sent out a warning to Israel after the Khan Yunis attacks. They said Israeli military should stop intensified strikes in the final hours before the ceasefire takes effect, as this would be reason for killing the hostages. It's a complex and multi-step process aimed at bringing lasting peace to the region. Bureau Report, DD India.
In other news, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump and his family departed West Palm Beach, Florida on Saturday ahead of the presidential inauguration on Monday in Washington, D.C. The Republican is expected to head immediately to his golf club in Sterling, Virginia, where a crowd of some 500 guests will view a fireworks display and musical performances. Trump is due to hold a rally with supporters inside the Capital One Arena in downtown Washington on Sunday, the eve of his inauguration. He will be sworn in at about 5 p.m. GMT. TikTok has pledged to go dark in United States on Sunday, threatening access for 170 million app users without 11th hour guarantees from the government. As President-elect Donald Trump says he is considering a reprieve after he takes office. After months of legal tussles, the U.S. Supreme Court on Friday upheld a law that would ban the popular video sharing platform in the name of national security unless its Chinese owners reach a deal to sell it to non-Chinese buyers by Sunday. After discussing TikTok with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday, Trump told NBC News on Saturday that he could activate a 90-day reprieve from the ban after he reclaims the Oval Office. The law allows a 90-day delay if the White House can show progress towards a viable deal. But TikTok owner ByteDance has flatly refused any sale. The administration of outgoing President Joe Biden has said it will leave the matter to Trump. Meanwhile, a last-minute proposal made on Saturday by the highly valued startup Perplexity AI offered a merger with the U.S. subsidiary of TikTok. A South Korean court on Sunday extended President Yoon Suk-yeol's detention for up to 20 days, with a requirement either to petition to extend Yoon's detention or free the impeached president within 48 hours. South Korean investigators asked a Seoul court on Friday to hold him for longer after he refused to be questioned. After a 5-hour hearing on Saturday, which Yoon attended, the Seoul Western District Court opted to grant the investigators' request due to concern that the suspect may destroy evidence. South Korean regulations require a suspect detained under a warrant to undergo a physical exam, have a mugshot taken and wear a prison uniform. The leader is expected to continue to be held in a solitary cell at the Seoul Detention Center. Migrants trying to avoid arrest set fire to blankets and mattresses at a camp in northern Mexican city of Chihuahua during a raid by government forces to clear the site. The enforcement action near the U.S. border comes as U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has accused Mexico government of not doing enough to curb migration into the U.S. and threatened sweeping tariffs. No deaths or injuries were reported in the blaze, which was extinguished in an hour. It was not clear how many people were detained. Iran unveiled what state TV said was an underground naval missile base at an undisclosed Gulf location on Saturday, 2 days before the start of Donald Trump's second term as president. It was unveiled at a time when tension with Washington is widely expected to rise. Iranian leaders are concerned that Trump might empower Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to strike Iran's nuclear sites while tightening US sanctions on its oil industry through maximum pressure policy. State television showed Revolutionary Guards Chief General Hossein Salami visiting the secret base during war games. He said it was one of the several built underground for vessels capable of launching long-range missiles and carry out distant warfare. State television said the base was built at a depth of about 500 meters somewhere in the Gulf, and it showed tunnels with long rows, what it said were new version of Targhe-class radar-evading speedboats which can launch cruise missiles. Earlier this month, Iran started military exercises that are due to last 2 months and have already included war games in which the Revolutionary Guards defended nuclear installations in Natanz against mock attacks by missiles and drones. Iran, which says its ballistic missiles are important deterrent and retaliatory force against the US and Israel, has in the past unveiled several underground missile sites. In Nigeria, a petrol tanker truck overturned, spilling fuel that exploded, killing at least 60 people and more injured. The accident in Niger state follows a similar blast in Jigawa state last October that killed 147 people. Most of the victims were impoverished local residents who had rushed to scoop the spilled petrol after the truck overturned. Such accidents have become common, killing dozens of people in the country grappling with worst cost of living crisis in a generation. The price of petrol has soared more than 400% since President Bola Tinubu scrapped a decades-old subsidy when he came into office in May 2023. A ski lift accident in Spain has left dozens injured. The incident at Aston Resort in the Spanish Pyrenees trapped 80 skiers on the malfunctioning chairlift. Witnesses report cable failure caused chairs to bounce, throwing some riders off. 3 seriously injured individuals were airlifted to hospitals in different locations. Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro accused the country's Supreme Court of persecuting him on Saturday after his appeal was rejected. Bolsonaro had called on Supreme Court to reconsider a previous decision barring him from traveling to the US to attend the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. Thousands of protesters gathered in parts of downtown Washington, D.C. on Saturday to march billed as People's March, highlighting issues including war in Gaza, climate change, abortion rights, transgender rights, among others. The march's website described the event as a day of joyful resistance, community building and powerful action. Amsterdam officially kicked off the tulip selling season during National Tulip Day on Saturday. Thousands of people flocked to the Dutch city's Museplein Square to celebrate the annual event with free Pick Your Own Garden. This year's National Tulip Day was dedicated to celebrating Amsterdam's 750th anniversary of its founding. And still to come on this edition of TD India Live, we tell you all the latest updates from the world's largest religious congregation, the Maha Kumbh. Repair restoration of iconic Kashmir houseboats begin. And Rohit Sharma retains captaincy of the Men in Blue to lead India's squad at the Champions Trophy.
Timeless, boundless, and infinite. The essence of faith. The soul of Sanatan culture. From the sacred confluence of Prayag, where divinity descends to earth. Witness the grandeur, the devotion, the magic. World's largest cultural and spiritual gathering, with over 450 million devotees expected to attend. Maha Kumbh, India's greatest festival of faith. Exclusively on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. India continues to witness cold days with minimum temperatures over 7 notches to 3.4 degrees Celsius at many places in Kashmir, while the national capital is covered under dense fog with temperatures dropping below 10 degrees Celsius. The northern states of Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand are expected to experience heavy snowfall from January 23rd, while temperatures are expected to fall. Indian Met Department has stated dense fog conditions in Delhi. The Centre's panel on Delhi NCR's air quality on Friday revoked curbs under Stage 3 of Graded Response Action Plan amid a dip in pollution due to favourable Met conditions. And now let's turn to all the updates from the Maha Kumbh. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh took a holy dip in Sangam and performed puja on the 6th day of Maha Kumbh Mela in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj. He took bath amidst chanting of Vedic mantras. The Defence Minister also reviewed the security arrangements for the Maha Kumbh. At the Maha Kumbh Mela, where millions gather in unity, Chai Point is serving some 5.5 million cups of chai, bringing people together while staying committed to sustainability. DD India Siddharth Bharadwaj has more.
In India, chai or tea is not just a beverage, but an emotion. I'm here in front of Chai Point, and in this Maha Kumbh 2025, they are brewing something special. Not just offering tea, but also a unique experience to bring people together, one sip at a time. In the heart of the world's largest human gathering, where millions of souls come together in search of spirituality and unity, one thing transcends all boundaries: the simple joy of a perfect cup of tea. And this year, Chai Point is here to be part of this historic journey at the Maha Kumbh Mela. Just tell us about Chai Point, what actually it is, what concept you have come up with.
We are completely technology-led. We see ourselves as a beverage platform, which essentially means that for the last 6-7 years, we've been building chai as well as coffee machines, but fundamentally focusing on chai. And that assures the customer of a very high level of quality and consistency.
Visitors are praising Chai Point not just for the perfect cup of tea, but also for its unwavering commitment to cleanliness and hygiene.
Super nice, clean, easy to take, and just enjoy a good coffee, a very nice good coffee.
Yeah, we were driving around, and I think this is one of the relatively cleaner place. And there's a variety of like drinks and food, which is nice.
College time we used to go, and also especially in Kumbh, you're always confused about where to eat because you don't know what's clean. So it's nice to have it here because everything looks clean, everything is very organized.
I love lemon tea at Chai Point, and Chai Point has been a part of our college days also. So this is a good nostalgia.
Chai Point maintains a strong focus by responsibly sourcing ingredients and minimizing waste, ensuring that each cup of tea contributes to a healthier planet. Serving millions at the Maha Kumbh, Chai Point is not just fueling the spirit with tea, it's also fostering a sustainable future. After all, India runs on chai, and so does a greener tomorrow. Chai Point at Maha Kumbh Mela is a celebration of simple joy that chai or tea brings in our lives, connecting strangers, creating memories, and sparking conversations. But one sip at a time. With camera person Rakesh Kumar, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting for DD India in Prayagraj.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with people of the country and abroad in the first Mann Ki Baat program of 2025 on Akashvani today. It will be the 118th episode of the monthly radio program. The program will be broadcast on the entire network of Akashvani and Doordarshan, AIR News website and News On Air mobile app. It will also be live streamed on YouTube channels of AIR News, DD News, PMO and Information Broadcasting Ministry. Akashvani will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal co-chaired the delegation-level meeting with EU Commissioner for Trade and Economic Security, Maros Sefcovic. They reviewed the bilateral trade ties and the progress of India-EU FTA and Trade and Technology Council. The delegation was also engaged in productive discussions and deliberated on global trade situation. Let's now turn to other stories making news today. In a heartwarming gesture of support and solidarity, Indian Army has extended a helping hand to specially abled villagers of Dadkai, located in the Doda district of Jammu and Kashmir, known as the Mute Village of India. Dadkai is home to a significant population of people with speech and hearing impairments, making communication and daily life particularly challenging for the residents. Manali, a popular hill station in Himachal Pradesh, is experiencing an influx of tourists as Samta Valley witnesses heavy snowfall, creating a winter wonderland. With over 3 feet of fresh snow covering the landscape, the valley is becoming a prime destination for adventure enthusiasts and nature lovers alike. As the region continues to draw more tourists, charm of Manali and its surrounding valleys remain as captivating as ever. The Jallikattu Festival 2025 in Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu, has officially begun, marking the much-awaited celebration of this ancient and vibrant tradition. Jallikattu, a traditional bull-taming sport, draws participants and spectators from all over the region. The festival attracts not only locals but also tourists and enthusiasts eager to witness the excitement and energy of this age-old practice. Repair and restoration work of iconic Kashmir houseboats begin, reviving heritage for future generations. These traditional floating homes, which have been a unique symbol of region's rich history and tourism industry, are set to undergo extensive renovations aimed at both restoring their grandeur and ensuring their sustainability for future generations. In sports, the Indian men's and women's team advanced to the finals of the inaugural Kho Kho World Cup, while the Indian women once again showcased their tactical prowess, outplaying South Africa 66-16 in the semi-finals. The men's team also secured their spot in with 62-42 victory over team from Rainbow Nation. The women in blue delivered a masterclass in both attack and defense, setting up an exciting final clash with Nepal. The host started off in style with dream run courtesy Chaitra B, who continued even after Nazia Bibi and Nirmala Bhati were caught by the defenders. She single-handedly scored 5 points before being eliminated by South Africa's Shineba Mosia. In cricket, Captain Rohit Sharma will lead the Indian squad at the ICC Champions Trophy 2025 with an aim to win the title for the first time since 2013. Fast bowler Jasprit Bumrah is included in the squad. However, his participation remains contingent on fitness. Hence, Harshit Rana has been added as his backup. Mohammad Shami will also make his comeback to India's ODI setup. India's most successful bowler from 2024, Arshdeep Singh, will join the squad as third frontline seamer. Shubman Gill has been appointed the team's vice captain, taking over the reins from KL Rahul. Yashasvi Jaiswal has earned his maiden ODI call-up after a stellar performance in Tests last year. Along with him, Virat Kohli, Gill, Rahul and Shreyas Iyer will share the batting responsibility. The same squad will play the 3 ODI series against England starting February 6th. America's Lerner Tian became the youngest man to reach the Australian Open 4th round in 20 years after beating Corentin Moutet on Saturday. World number 121, Tian toppled the much experienced Moutet at Kia Arena less than a couple of months after his 19th birthday. Tian's win in the Battle of Left-Handers came 2 days after he pulled off the upset of the tournament by beating former US Open champion and 3 times finalist Daniil Medvedev in 5-set thriller. And second seed Iga Swiatek charged into the 4th round of the Australian Open after defeating Emma Raducanu 6-1, 6-0 on Saturday. Both the players have been former US Open champions. Polish number 1 Swiatek targeted Raducanu's backhand to win the last 11 games of the contest and reach the last 16 in Melbourne for the 5th time. In other matches, 8th seed Emma Navarro joined the American charge with 6-4, 3-6, 6-4 win over Tunisian Ons Jabeur in a topsy-turvy match. In men's category, top seed Yannick Sinner defeated Marcos Giron by 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 to enter into the fourth round on Saturday. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts of the news on the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan this QR code on your screens to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.